John from Phoenix asks, Dear mean counselor, how can I increase my self-awareness and understand my strengths and weaknesses better?
Aw, look at you, John. So brave for asking. Let me guess, is this part of your New Year's resolution or just some midlife crisis hitting a little too hard? Did you watch one too many self-help TED Talks and suddenly realize you've been wandering through life with all the self-awareness of a houseplant? First off, let's get something straight. If you've made it this far without having an ounce of self-awareness, you're probably the type who thinks Introspection is a new brand of protein shake. I mean, have you ever paused for 2 seconds in your life to think about how you come across to others? Or is that just not as exciting as checking how many likes your latest Instagram post got? Step 1. Start paying attention. Not to yourself. We've already established you're doing enough of that. Pay attention to how people react when you walk into a room. Are they rolling their eyes? Suddenly finding reasons to leave? Yeah, that's a clue, John. Maybe, just maybe, your vibe is less cool and collected and more oblivious and self-centered. It's called reading the room. And trust me, you're failing at it. Step 2. Get comfortable with the idea that you are not perfect. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, I know it's tough when your mom spent your childhood feeding you compliments like you were a misunderstood genius or a lost Picasso. Spoiler alert, you're not. So here's an idea. Start noticing your flaws. Do you talk too much? Interrupt people constantly? Yeah, that's not a charming personality trait, John. It's called being rude. Get over yourself. Recognize your shortcomings and, gasp, work on them. Self-awareness isn't just about admiring your reflection. It's about figuring out where you suck and doing something about it. Step 3. Let's talk about reflection. Real reflection. Not the kind where you're staring at yourself in the mirror, wondering why your hair's thinning. I mean, actually reflecting on your actions, your behavior, and, brace yourself, the impact you have on others. I know this sounds dangerously close to work, and I'm sure you'd rather spend your time binge-watching the latest season of whatever trash TV show you're into. But guess what, John? Self-awareness requires effort. Shocking, right? It's not some magical switch you flip. It's a continuous process of observing, reflecting, and, here's the kicker, changing. And speaking of changing, here's a wild concept. Listen to feedback. Not from your reflection, but from actual humans. People who are probably too nice to tell you to your face that you're insufferable. Ask them, hey, am I completely missing the mark in life? Watch their eyes widen in shock, and then, if they're honest, they'll tell you how you're perceived. But oh wait, that means you'd have to stop talking long enough to hear what they have to say, wouldn't it? Tough break, John. Listening is hard when you're always waiting for your turn to speak. And just in case you think self-awareness is this one-time thing, let me correct you. It's not a project with a deadline. It's not something you can cross off your to-do list between brushing your teeth and ordering takeout. It's lifelong. And guess what? You're probably going to be bad at it for a while. But if you can manage to drag yourself out of your Phoenix bubble, stop thinking you're the sun around which all planets orbit, and actually practice some self-reflection, well, you might just become a halfway decent person. So there you go, John. Now get to work on being aware of something other than your own reflection and your fragile little ego.